August 30th, 2025, and it's time for a reality check. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lizabeth, and I am living in the light by documenting both my weight loss and my struggle to maintain a 160-pound weight loss. Since June of 2022, I have lost 160 pounds, and then I regained 50 of it. As disappointing and frustrating as that has been, I am determined that I am going to re-lose that 50 pounds and I'm going to find a way to maintain that weight loss. After trying multiple programs, after trying multiple ways of exercising more, eating less, drinking more water, doing all of the things that I'm supposed to do, I have finally landed on the idea that I cannot do this on my own. It doesn't matter how few calories, how much protein, how few carbohydrates, how much weight training, all of those things have not mattered. My weight started to climb again no matter what I did. So I have finally turned to GLP-1 medications. So now I'm documenting that loss. I'm documenting the progress that I have made through GLP-1s, what I'm experiencing, any of the side effects that I happen to be having, how I eat, how I move, all of those kinds of things to hopefully encourage other people who are struggling with weight as well. As I've said in previous videos, GLP-1 medications are not a magic bullet. You have to do the work. So if you're not willing to make healthy choices with the foods that you eat, if you're not willing to move your body the right way, to work to build muscle, then it's probably not going to be the right option for you. It may help you to lose weight in the front end, but you will not be able to maintain that weight loss if you don't learn new habits. Now, during my 160-pound weight loss, I did learn new habits and I stuck to those new habits. And as I've said, sometimes those habits are not enough. There are some people, and I believe I fall into that category, who have the disease of obesity, and diseases require medications. I did recently read a post on one of the GLP-1 groups that I am part of on Facebook, where somebody commented and said, I don't understand why people just don't make better choices with the food that they eat and exercise more. And that used to be what my response was to people when it came to these medications. And the more I have read and the more I've learned about my own body, I have come to the realization that that really is not enough for a lot of people. There are people who just cannot lose the weight on their own because their bodies are predisposed to be a certain weight. Their bodies are predisposed to deal with carbohydrates or sugars or extra food in a way that doesn't allow them to burn it to be able to lose weight. So that's where I am now. And I will have to say that it took me a while to get to this place, but I'm really glad that I'm here. And that's why I would love to share with people my journey and what I'm going through to hopefully encourage them. If this is the kind of content you want to see, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, if you would share my videos with other people. And if you're watching, please give this video a thumbs up. It really does encourage me, it helps me, and it lets me know that this is the kind of content that people like to see. Speaking of content that people like to see, I would love it if you would leave a comment for me, please. What kinds of videos would be encouraging to you on your weight loss journey? Would you like to see me cook recipes that are healthy? Would you like to see more of the what I eat in a day type videos? What types of information or videos would be encouraging for you? Because I want to supply videos that are going to be encouraging to you, that are going to provide the information that you want to hear. So just shoot me a comment down below. Give me some ideas, things you would like to see, and I'll see what I can do to put some things together. Today was the end of week 4 for me. So this morning I took my 5th shot, and I am at 16 units of compound semiglutide, and I go through the company called Hers. If you're interested in information about that company, I do have a link in my description box. It will give you some money off of your first order, and it will also give me a little bit of a benefit if you happen to order using that link. No pressure, but if you want to check it out, that's there for you to look at. I also stepped on the scale and I wanted to share with you how I did not only this week, but because it is the end of the month, I wanted to share with you my monthly statistics. Now remember, last week, I did not lose anything. And that I told you I'm not going to be discouraged. I'm going to keep moving forward. So how did I do this week? Yay, so I dropped 1.4 pounds, so that's great. So total in 1 month, I lost 9.2. Now remember, I had gone, or if you don't remember, I went on vacation before I started. And so I just allowed myself to eat what I wanted to eat while I was on vacation. I was on a cruise, I was on a work trip. And so I had put on some weight before I started the first shot. So my first week was a fairly decent drop. And then I lost 1.8, then I lost nothing, and then I lost 1.4 for a total of 9.2 for the first month. I don't expect to have that same, over 2 pounds a week average loss from here on out. I would be very happy if I was anywhere between 1 and 2 pounds a week. That will allow me to get to my goal weight by spring, which is great. And then I can work on getting onto a maintenance dose. I'm really hoping by that time that the FDA will have fully approved the pill form of semiglutide, because that would be really nice not to have to give myself a shot every week, to just take a pill. We'll see. That may happen in the next year. It may take a couple of years, but I'm willing to do what it takes in order to lose the weight and maintain and live at a healthy weight. When I was previously losing weight, I kept track of my measurements every single week. I did not start out with my measurements this time, but this morning I did do measurements. So I follow an acronym SWATCH to help me to remember what I am measuring. The S stands for scale, so that will always be my weight. The W will stand for waist, A is arms, T is thigh, C is chest, and H is hips. I only measure my upper left arm and my upper left thigh. I don't do both thighs and both arms. They're fairly equal. And as long as I'm measuring the same one every time at roughly the same spot, that will be helpful. Now, if you're not aware, I don't share my weight. And I'm not going to share the actual inches because I think those numbers can be triggering for some people. You can have, 5 women who all weigh the exact same weight, but they look completely different based on their height and just the way that their bodies are built. So I don't share my actual weight or the actual numbers, but what I will share from here on out is, of course, the pounds that I have lost, as well as any changes in the inches that I see on the measuring tape when I measure from week to week. So what did I do differently this week? What did I experience differently this week? The only thing that I did differently was I did not exercise the way that I had been exercising. Honestly, I just had a super busy week and I didn't make it a priority. And when I stepped on the scale this morning and I noticed that I had lost almost 1.5 pounds, I thought to myself, Lizabeth, what did you do this week that caused you to lose 1.5 pounds when you didn't lose any weight the week before? And the only thing I can think of was I didn't exercise. And I remembered back to when I was on that other program that anytime I tried to incorporate exercise into my day, my weight loss would stall. So I'm not saying I'm not going to exercise. What I am going to do is I'm going to do a little experiment on myself. I'm going to do another week like I did this week, and I'm going to walk what I walk around the house like just normal. I'm not going to add anything and just see what happens to my weight this week. And then the following week, I'm going to add the exercise back in and see what happens to my weight that week. So I'm willing to play with it a little bit for myself to kind of see, is that truly what kept me from losing weight last week. I don't know. So I'm going to give that a try. Again, this is a self-imposed experiment because I'm doing it on myself, totally not advocating that anybody do that themselves. Then before I go any further, and I should have said this at the very beginning, I am not a medical professional. This is purely my journey, what I am doing myself, and in no way am I advocating or telling anybody that they should be doing what I am doing. This is just me sharing what is working for me as far as weight loss and becoming a healthier person. One of my favorite things that I ate this week was a stir fry. I told you last week about the miracle noodles, and I did. It was so delicious. I bought a big bag of frozen stir fry vegetables at Costco that had like broccoli and green beans and mushrooms and carrots, and it had just a bunch of great different vegetables in it. The miracle noodles. And then I've got Kroger near me, so if you've got one of those Kroger stores, in their meat department, they have shaved steak. So it's a 14-ounce package of shaved steak. And then I had made an Asian-style kind of sweet and spicy sauce a while ago for some salmon, and I had some left over in a jar. I'm sure I made up the recipe, and wasn't anything that I found somewhere. So as far as like how much of anything was in there, I couldn't tell you. But it likely had soy sauce, garlic, ginger, some chili garlic paste. So it's that little jar of it's a little jar of red stuff that has the rooster on the front of it. There was some of that in there, some honey, and probably hoisin or something like that was in there. And I might have put some rice wine vinegar in there. And so I had some of that. I had probably a half to 3/4 of a cup in the jar in my refrigerator. So I tossed that on this stir fry with those noodles and mixed it up. My husband liked it. It was almost like lo mein, really delicious, and highly recommend giving that a try. Breakfast for me is typically eggs and a vegetable. A lot of times it is spinach and mushrooms, or just spinach. Sometimes it's tomatoes. It just kind of depends on the day. Very rarely do I do things like pancakes or waffles, just because my body doesn't really respond well to lots of carbohydrates. But I found this recipe for a sheet pan pancake, and I kind of changed the recipe up a little bit just so that it would beef up the protein. And I made sure there was cottage cheese and eggs, Kodiak pancake mix. And then I added in some protein powder and some PB2 powder. So that beefed up the amount of protein in there without adding a lot of fat. And I made a big sheet pan of that, and it has been delicious. And I wanted to share with you another product that I found that I can really stand behind, that I'm really excited to share. So it is called Kodiak Superfruit Syrup, and it is mountain berry, and it is so delicious. I do not like fake sweeteners. I don't even like stevia, monk fruit. I just don't like them at all. I will occasionally have things with those things in it. Definitely steer clear of any artificial sweeteners. But this, literally, it is cane sugar, blackberry puree, red raspberry puree, water, blueberry juice concentrate, pectin and xanthan gum, and citric acid. For 2 tablespoons of this, there are 60 calories. Obviously no fat, 14 grams of carbohydrates, no protein. I would recommend this above and beyond. Do not buy that fake syrup. I mean, if you're not going to use real maple syrup, don't do the low sugar, the no sugar added, because those do have sweeteners in them like sucralose. It might have stevia. But this, I mean, if you're going to eat sugar, eat sugar. I don't know. I just don't like that. This for me personally. So this is delicious because it's berries and sugar. I mean, and it's only 60 calories and only 14 grams of carbohydrates in 2 tablespoons. So highly recommend this. I bought this at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. So you can probably find it anywhere where all of the syrups were, maple syrup, log cabin, all that stuff. This was in there. 10 out of 10 recommend that you try this one. So this week, I am just going to keep plugging forward, keep drinking my water, keep eating lots of protein, and just doing what I'm doing, being conscious, taking my vitamins, taking my probiotics, doing all of that good stuff. And hopefully next week I'll see another loss. But all I know is that I just have to keep forward doing what I'm doing. Again, please give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me. I am a words of affirmation girl. And if you tell me that you like me, that just makes my day. So give me a thumbs up and let me know if you've got questions. Let me know if there are videos you would like to see me make. If there are recipes that you have seen that you want me to try out, ideas that you have, please share them with me. I want to be here to encourage you, and I want you to know how much you encourage me. Before I let you go, I wanted to share with you a new mantra that I have for myself, and that is, I am worth the hard work. You are worth the hard work. And until I see you next time, please live in the light.